Denmark may criminalize burning holy books. There's been a spate recently of people burning the Quran in various countries. In Sweden, it's happened, and in Denmark, it's been happening. And some of it is out of protest, like just angry at extremists. But they're doing it in front of embassies. They're doing it basically to make Muslims mad. And at a strategic level, I find this a stupid thing to do. But here's the thing. In Sweden, one of the reasons they were worried about it is because Sweden's trying to get into NATO, and they were kind of worried that if people are burning the Islamic holy book, that might prevent Islamic nations from voting for them to enter NATO. So Sweden has its own problems with it. But in Denmark, where this has been happening too, where it's a little easier to change the laws there, they just proposed a law, and I want to get this right here. They just proposed a law. Anyone found guilty of burning a holy book in a public place could be fined or sentenced for up to 2 years in prison, depending on how often they do it. And they actually, I didn't know this, they have the similar law if you're desecrating other countries' flags. So if you burn a flag, they punish you. We don't have that in the US. You're allowed to burn a flag if it's your property. In Denmark, you cannot. But basically, they're saying you cannot, like, no, sorry. In Denmark, they're saying you can burn books. That is legal. You can piss off religious people. That is also legal. But if you burn your copy of the Bible or the Quran or something else like that in public with the intention, I guess, of trying to piss people off, then we can punish you. And it elevates religious beliefs to this level that I don't think it should be, because there are plenty of books secular people take seriously that are meaningful to me. And if you burned it, I would be upset about it. But there's no penalty for like burning On the Origin of Species or burning an encyclopedia. No one cares, which is the right reaction. It doesn't matter if my feelings are hurt if you burn your encyclopedia. But here it's if you burn a holy book, now you might go to jail. And that is crazy. Now, the Denmark's justice minister said the protests were senseless taunts that have no purpose other than to create discord and hatred. And you know what? He's right about that. The people who are burning these books, they're not doing it to express, support for the First Amendment in the US or like to support free expression and free speech. They're doing it to anger Muslims. And I think there's a valid place for politicians to say, don't do that. That's a dumb thing. Why are you trying to piss them off? Let's try to get together. And by the way, some politicians have said that it's legal, but it's stupid. And I'm right there with them on that. That's a smart thing for them to say. They should discourage people from doing it. I'm fine with that. But what they can't do is to say, no, if you burn a book, that's a crime, even though there are literally no victims involved here. How do you have a crime when there are no victims? No one's getting hurt. No one's like their feelings are hurt. That shouldn't be a crime. So, and what's even wackier about this is Denmark in 2017, they repealed their blasphemy law because even Denmark recognized that blasphemy is a victimless crime. And it was absurd for them to say if you offend religious sensibilities, then someone should be punished. They said, no, we're not having that anymore. 2017, they got rid of it. In 2005, as some of you are pointing out, there was a publication in Denmark that published cartoons of the Prophet Muhammad, purposely offensive cartoons. And there was a lot of discussion about that. There was a lot of angry, intense, criminal reactions to that in some places, bombs that went off because of it. But I think universally, the thing was, if you support free speech and you support free expression, then the cartoons are just those. They're drawings. Get over it. They're not the problem. So to go from that Denmark to this one that says, well, if you burn a copy of your own book, even if it's a blank book, but you just say it's the Quran, it counts. Then we're going to punish you for that. Wow, talk about steps backwards. That just seems so messed up. And by the way, the publication Gillen's Postin, if I'm saying that right, that's the publication that published the cartoons of Muhammad in 2005. Even they said, well, like, what happens if you do a live stream like this one that no one is following, like this one, and you burned a copy there? Like, is that in public, even though no one's watching it? Could you get arrested for that, even though no one's watching it and you're clearly not doing it to provoke people because no one's watching you? And the answer is yeah. Denmark could punish you for a live stream that no one is viewing because, in theory, that is still in public. And yet, Denmark says we're totally fine if you want to publish the cartoons. We're not going after that. If you offend someone or criticize religion verbally, that's okay. You just can't burn your copy of their holy book. Um, it just seems so messed up. I don't know where that's going to go. Uh, and I don't know if the law is going to pass because the parliament or something, it's such a slim majority that is in support, that their parties are in support of this. So maybe it doesn't pass. But to even be talking about this, who does this help? Because imagine this: let's say they pass the law, and now it is a crime to burn the Quran. What do you think a lot of people are going to do? If you're a free speech advocate and a protester of sorts, you might burn those books because you have a right to do it and you're trying to make a statement, not because you care about what Muslims will think about you. You're doing it for the principle of the thing. I've seen Americans do that. They'll burn an American flag on July 4th. Why? Because they have a right to do it and they want to make a show that they have a right to do it. Again, we could talk about the strategy there, but they shouldn't be arrested for it. And in Denmark, I fear that if they pass this law, it's just going to be like the Streisand effect or something. Like everyone's going to do it. More people are going to burn more Qurans. And that would probably defeat the purpose here. So, look, the only people who should be punished over a book burning are people who commit crimes in response to book burning. Because burning a book is not a crime. Not if it's your book, not if it's one you bought or you own or anything like that. And for any country to punish that would be crazy. But for Denmark to do it, a country that I thought had a better free speech reputation, that just seems really messed up.